Let me tell you about a case I had involving a devastating brain injury. My client Brian is an engineer who was injured when he was watching a test performed on a pipe. It was called a hydrostatic burst test. And what that means is the pipe was supposed to be pressured up with water until it burst. Well, in this particular case, the person performing the test didn't make sure that all the air was out of the tube, and when the pipe burst, it launched up in the air like a missile, and it struck Brian in the head, and Brian had devastating injuries to the right front of his brain, fractured vertebra, chipped teeth, really a devastating amount of injury for Brian. What this injury meant for him, because it hit his right frontal lobe, involved his right frontal lobe, is that Brian's ability to interact with others was significantly compromised. The right frontal lobe is what we call the executive center of the brain. It is where a lot of our personality is centered. So the day after this particular incident, Brian woke up a different person from the day before, a person with a different personality and a person with significant difficulties in terms of his ability to function, perform his job, interact with family and friends. All those things were very, very badly compromised. How we were able to help Brian was putting together a team of top-notch doctors that not only could help Brian through the rehabilitative process, get him integrated back into the community, give him tools to help him function as normally as he possibly could again, but also to be able to describe Brian's injuries and damages in a way that would be compelling for a jury. One of the most significant things a trial lawyer is confronted with when dealing with a brain injury case is how to put those injuries in front of a jury, because if the person has a pretty decent recovery and sits in front of the jury, they look normal, they can speak normally, and a jury just won't be able to get it just how badly this person has been devastated by these injuries. So it's important to have a really good team of doctors who can describe the injuries and how they've affected the person in order to maximize damages. Through my work on this particular case, and I think it's critical on any significant brain injury case to spend a great deal of time with the family, and that time can't be spent in the lawyer's office. As a trial lawyer, if you want to understand how the injuries are affecting that person, how the injuries are affecting that person's family, you need to go into the client's home and spend not an hour or two, but spend a day, and then go back and visit and spend another day and have lunch with that person and get to know that person and get to know that person's family. And through my work on that particular case, this client, who we got a very good result for, we got a full measure of justice for Brian. I now consider Brian a friend, and his family and my family get together and we let our kids play, and we still communicate on a semi-frequent basis. If you have any questions, or if you have a family member or a loved one that's been involved in an incident where they've suffered either a minor, moderate, or severe traumatic brain injury, I can be reached by calling me, DJ Banovitz, at 303-300-5060, or emailing me, dj@coloradoinjuryfirm.com.